Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Coffee Jones.
What's up? What's up? To Ron Carter, Bonafide.
Just dropping a little insight about album making process. Kind of going through the history of our work, our bodies of work, our art, our lives that we put into this music thing. First album, mental release. A lot of people don't know that was our very first album. Very experimental. Very organic, man. We were literally finding ourselves on that one. We just got unleashed in the studio like, all right, guys, 30 days, give us a product. Bam. So, man, that's going way back.
That sure is. That's an interesting process because a lot of people don't, like nowadays when people do records, they go in the studio for months and do a record. You know what I'm saying? We had no choice. We was doing records in 28 days. And from concept to mix, 28 days. Writing to mix. You know what I mean? And just like nowadays, with even like Magna Carta came out, Jay-Z's new record, and how they were like how the process was. They just came in, did it, and put it out. In a short amount of time. Well, I mean that was life for us.
Man, Mental Releases probably was the only record kind of did like demos for, we never after that, it's just kind of like we got our deal. It was like, all right, guys, submit some demos. I mean, we was back and forth to Jacksonville, Florida, just kind of creating our style, and our brand collectively. We had been, rapping and doing stuff like that before we met each other, but as a group, we had to find a way to, mesh and gel together. So, he was from Jacksonville, so he knew he had to hook up with studio out there. We didn't have budgets like that before we started actually doing the albums. So we going to Jacksonville, sneaking studio time, stealing studio time, really. And our man Mo Henderson, who used to, he worked on pretty much every GRITS album.
Right.
But he was an engineer, and he would work with artists. He would pay for the studio. They would finish 3 or 4 in the morning, and we'd sneak in after them while the studio was still, Mo called us like, hey, come on, let's work.
Yeah.
So we on the tail end of 69 Boys sessions, 95 South.
Well, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
We were just getting those extra hours that they didn't take that day because, when you hire an engineer, for the most part, you get them for the whole day in certain situations. And so for him, it was like, okay, when they cut out early, if they're not gonna use all their time, then y'all come on in, and that's how we did it, man. It was guerrilla. It was real guerrilla. I know for mental, I know one thing that I'll never forget is shooting a video for one song and then ended up taking the band that was in the video back to the studio and actually recording some more songs.
That's awesome.
Because we started vibing on set, like, oh man, that's dope, or whatever, so. That's how we got, like, when you go back and look at the video for Set Your Mind at Ease, you got Todd Collins on the keys. Well, actually, you got Mo on the keys. Todd Collins was on drums, Otto Price on the bass, and we actually took them same cats. When we finished the video, we went to the studio and started recording stuff that we came up with on the video set, because we were still writing songs for the album, even though we had the single and was shooting the video. I think another highlight for me was when we had to do the showcase for the Goatee showcase. So we got the Blue Sky Cafe and we had to perform in front of Clive Davis. And so, live, what I mean? So that was dope too. I'll never forget that, being like actually the real Clive Davis, sitting front row watching us perform. And it wasn't no bad feedback or nothing like that either, what I mean? It wasn't like he was like, oh, these guys are whack, whatever, but I think it was just a privilege, for us to be having to set a standard in front of guys in the industry that have such legendary careers for, tastemakers, really, what I'm saying, who's still in the business to this day, you know what I'm saying, and have been behind some really big artists and historical. So, I mean, from the jump, man, Mental Releases was a standard for us in a lot of ways, musically, how we created, to being able to step up to the plate and just do it, just do what we felt. But we definitely was doing something that nobody else was doing, and especially in our genre. Nobody was messing with jazz or messing with live instrumentation on that level. And then there's been some tracks, even on Mental Reach, where it was like once he had the hook, then it became grit. It's like, and I'd be like, yes, that's a grit song right there. You know, I like that. You know what I'm saying? That hook right there, that made it what it needed to be. So, but I mean, and that's the unique thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Even with, you know, people are gonna always hear elements of grits from Fresh Brew to, you know, my stuff, you know, which is basically gonna be self-titled Teron Carter. So you're gonna hear elements, but you're not gonna get grits until we do stuff together, you know. And when you do hear grits, you know, it'll be different from something maybe from Fresh Brew or something from Teron Carter, the Reverb. So but you'll always, if you, for our true fans who roll with us, who've been riding with us, especially since Mental, I think they're the ones who are gonna really appreciate what we're doing now until we put out the next new grit stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, definitely appreciate people who've been riding with us since Mental. I think things are getting back to that Mental vibe when it comes to hip hop now. People want that more raw. You know, when there was, I mean, we'll always be lyrical, but I think people want that more raw feel now, back again, because they've clubbed enough, they've partied enough, they got enough theme songs, you know, whatever, and it's like they just want to get back to just, you know, just the fun of and the rawness of the essence of hip hop, you know, being able to just ride on a track and just put people in a zone, you know, and just pull them into the music, into where, you know, it's an experience and not just a moment.
Mental Releases, you know, great thing about that album was we reached out to, you know, people we looked up to, you know, in the hip hop world, and the artists that we admired before we even started, you know, really getting on the mic like that. And we reached out to them because we used certain samples, and they, you know, when they okayed and cleared it based on if they liked the song. Then, like now, the whole sample game is way different. But you know, we sampled Dwick, you know, from a Gangstar, on one song. Yeah, we reached out to them, and you know, Guru and those guys were like, well, if we like the song, you know, we'll clear it. If we don't like it, we're not gonna clear it. Send it to them, clear it. You know, same way we use the Usher sample. This is when he was Usher Raymond, you know.
Right.
So we going way back. Same with Biggie, you know. Diddy, you know, back then Puff. Puff cleared the sample, you know, so it was kind of like we was getting vouched for. Back then, we were just excited to be a part of it. What about the money? I mean, the money was nice, you know, to get paid to do shows or whatever, but we literally got into it for the love of hip-hop, you know. We've been fortunate to be here to this day, you know, with fans who still holding on to what, you know, we did back in the day, waiting for new stuff, you know, so it's definitely been, you know, a real blessing and an honor. But, you know, Mental Releases, it jumped it off. I mean, looking back now, I mean, you know, the music we did on there, based on where we are in life, I mean, we would never do it like that again. But the beauty of it is that was our foundation, you know, and it's a body of work to this day we can still be proud of. And no matter who we worked with, we never had to change who we were.
Right.
You know, artists respected us. Talib Kweli, you know, to this day, we got a decent relationship with that cat, but, you know, he hopped on with us. Not because of our beliefs or, you know, the message. It was just like, you know what, I'm going to get down with y'all. I respect what y'all do. We always respected what he did. You know, we were fans of his. You know, so when he hopped down with us, you know, it was just like, but that's how it should be. You know, it's music. It's organic. You know, it should be natural. And that's what the beauty of real hip hop is.
Right.
You know, go in there and just do whatever it is. It's on your heart. You know.
Yo, this has been a moment in the minds of Grits, in the collective of our catalog of music, from Mental all the way to Quarantine. This is just the first part. We got much more in store for you, and we hope you enjoyed it. You know, and please, you know, definitely send us questions and ask about what your favorite album is. That's what I would love to know. What people's favorite album was. What was their favorite songs, or the questions they never got to ask about? Well, what were y'all talking about in this song? You know, Because to this day, people still misquote us, or they be like, "Yeah, y'all was talking about this." It's like, no, that's not what that song was about, you know. So we definitely would love to hear feedback or whatever. So hit us up, whether it's on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Official Grits.
Official Grits. You know, on MySpace, on Facebook. I said I'm about to say MySpace, but on Facebook, right?
Facebook.
So whatever, however you keep in contact with your favorite artists, you know, hit us up, look for us. You know, we definitely will look forward to hitting y'all back and answering and just interacting with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? You know, with y'all love, the way y'all show love to us, man, you never know. You might force us to have to put out some more stuff for y'all. But we definitely doing this for the love of y'all, because y'all loved us so much. We want to give something back.